Hello, Phoenix is rising, and so are we. Welcome into the PHNX Rising podcast. Appreciate you guys joining us here on a Tuesday night. I am Max Simpson.
Wakey, my friend. You sound like you're nodding off.
That's how we're going to start, right?
I know. Yeah, of course we are.
Alrighty, and I'm joined by Mr. Owen Evans. Owen, how we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I hear that you actually beat Trig in FIFA today.
So not that hard to do, apparently.
He did indeed. He beat Trig by 2 games.
Would you like to tell the people how you were distracting me throughout these games?
Oh, multiple times. I prevented this guy from, at one point, I was just flat out like, he's not seeing. Like, I took the hat and like did this, and still Reese he couldn't score.
Nope.
Trig, you let me down, mate.
Couldn't score. He positioned his body to where I couldn't see the screen. He was he was just
in the way.
He was a big poophousery for those who partake. But yep. So we got us two. We got Reese, and we have Mr. Jacob producing behind the Mac. But good to see everyone here in the chat. Yeah. Appreciate you joining us. We got a lot to talk to today. Shall we get into Phoenix Rising? Travel to a little Coachella vibes, if you will.
Yeah, they're in Coachella at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they had a preseason friendly against one Minnesota United.
Yep.
And while they did fall 2-1, you were there. You have a couple takeaways, don't you?
Yeah. What would you like to start with, Max? What do you think we should start with?
Oh man, I mean, listen, we can even. Big thing, right? And maybe it's not a big thing because it's still relatively early on. Let's walk through the starters. Let's paint the picture for the people. All of the Phoenix Rising starters who did end up playing, one half and then they rotated. A line shift, if you will, for those hockey fans here in the chat. Shout
Wrong
out to
spot,
Max podcast. That's the only plug I'll get. Yeah, if you take a look at who were the starters that were Phoenix Rising players, doesn't count any trialists or anyone from other teams. You have Fuenmayer, Manjoma, Jose Andres Hernandez, Zambrano, Azucar, Panos Armenakas, Erickson Gallardo, and Remy Cabral. Who do we like? Who do we like from there, kind of seeing of who might be able to fit the mold?
I'll give you both sides on that one. Both sides on the who do you like, who do you not. Let's start with Remy Cabral up top, right? Someone that obviously is known to our friends up in DNVR. Of course, he's here on loan from Colorado Rapids. And coming off of a Golden Boot winning season in MLS Next Pro. And he managed to add a goal, his first goal of the preseason on Saturday. I mean, really, honestly, it's one of those things whereby, and we'll get into this in a second. We're going to have a video in a second to run through some things on Remy Cabral, but just being able to see, just picking up some confidence, picking up some chemistry with the teammates, all very, very good stuff. So let's have a listen to that video now.
It's always important for attacking players, obviously centre forwards, to hit the back of the net. Darius Formella last week has got his first goal of pre-season. Remy today gets his first goal. So for centre forwards, that's always an important thing. So I'm pleased for him, and it was an excellent goal from the team and a very good finish from Remy today. And he'll, always for centre forwards, that first moment and that first goal and that first feeling of the ball hitting the back of the net is one that not only is, I hope, a confidence boost for him, but something that he now carries forward through the rest of pre-season. And we now, we ask him obviously to now keep working at producing many more of those moments.
He make me really, really happy. He make my confidence at the best. Huh? It's always good to score, so I'm happy for that.
How well do you think you're developing chemistry with your teammates here in Phoenix?
I think we're doing well. It's just the preseason is only like 3 weeks we are together. We start to build the connection and looking forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think
you need to get that confidence, don't you?
You do. I think this might be a very double standard rule, and I don't think it's necessarily a hard and fast rule, but I feel you always take these preseason friendlies with a grain of salt. But to me, you only to my mind, there's only like favorable ways you can look at it. If, let's say, a player is maybe out of form or the chemistry isn't there, well, it's very easy to say, okay, it's early, especially in a new system with new teammates around him as he is. But then when you're able to actually bag goals and you are able to actually get in the flow of it, well, then that's only a positive, because congrats, it usually takes a bit to get that going. Even if it's within the preseason context, even if players aren't at full strength within the starting lineups, doesn't matter. Still ahead of schedule, in my opinion.
Right, and I think there's something as well to point out here with Cabral in terms of just the goal that he scored, the ball that comes in from Gallardo. Right, yeah, it finds him, but he still has to do a bit with it, right? He's on the edge of the penalty area, there's players around him. And you've got to find a way to then take that and still put it in the back of the net, and he did so. He made it look relatively easy. That looked like a striker with confidence, and again, you keep that run going, you keep that going further, that's important. Someone else I'll point out, let's look at Panos Armenakas a little bit, we can talk about him. I think that in the first half, yes, the attention will be on Gallardo, plays it into Cabral, great, but I think you do also need to pay attention to Panos and Panos' role in that goal. Panos, overall, I'll say this about his first half. We know he struggled with the ankle in the past. I felt as though watching him at times, he was maybe a little bit ginger on it, to be honest. It wasn't the most just confident in his movement at times, I felt. When you watched him off the ball especially, it didn't feel as though he was the most confident with his movement. But after having one potential counter attack that maybe he was a little bit slow to make the decision on whether he was going to run, whether he's going to pass, quite what he was going to do. What you see him on that second opportunity then when he does find Gallardo, he takes a couple of touches and then he puts that ball forward. It's a lovely weighted ball. It curls around. It finds Gallardo, getting around a defender to get it to Gallardo. And that's what helps launch it in that moment. Again, that's what you're looking for from a guy like Panos. You're not looking at him to... Yeah, he'll chip in with a few goals over the course of the season, but you're not looking for him to be the guy who's putting the ball in the back of the net. You're looking for him to pick out those passes. That's the kind of stuff that he can do. Really good at reading the game in that sense. I will switch around a bit to the back line now, I think, and there's kind of two ways of approaching this in the first half. I'll start by talking a little bit about Alejandro Fuenmayor. So Fuenmayor gave up 2 penalties. Obviously, Minnesota had 2 penalties in the first half. Fuenmayor gave up 2. The second one, I'm not thoroughly convinced by. I feel like there was a little bit of an opportunistic opportunity to go down. The first one, I think, was probably a penalty. Just, I think, something to note there. More broadly, though, I know like we can talk about Rising have done this in the past, but they were definitely very, very committed to playing at the back. At times, to me, visually, it looked, at least in that first half, as though they were doing it, maybe taking a few more risks than they normally would. I did ask Danny about that after the game. Did you have a listen?
I mean, I wouldn't. Possibly some risks that maybe you wouldn't, and just honestly some areas where we need to continue to improve and clean up at, and set some more reminders for the players who have been with us over the last year. And obviously, again, we're still integrating players into the team that haven't done as much of those pieces of play with us previously. So we that's something we'll still work at hard in training, and part of what we're here for this week is also to play games, look at film, and train and work, and we'll continue to do that this week. But yes, I mean, look, I'm pleased that the players tried to play, and I think again at times they played some very good stuff, and were able to create problems for Minnesota as well.
Yeah, it's again a lot of this during the early parts of preseason, as you keep on getting more games, as you get closer with, where you get closer to teammates, you have more practice time with them, it's just kind of finding the little nuances, the little things of, right, like where's your positioning on the touchline, where, what's the type of speed you're typically playing the ball with, those kind of unspoken movements of how are you moving through the midfield, all those little things. I feel, this is where you really find out a lot about that. And again, this is where I only paint preseasons, rightly or wrongly, in a positive light. If you aren't crushing it, that's okay. You got time. If you're ahead of schedule, fantastic. Then that's great for the team. I mean, I think even from the offensive side of things, you're mentioning Panos, maybe a little bit ginger, possibly with the ankle. I think it's also just coming with time. Again, like kind of finding out, people's role within the offense, knowing that he wants to galvanize, that he wants to take the game head on. But it's also you're working with different people, kind of working with their movement. And I think when you're talking about Panos, when you're talking about even Alejandro Fuenmayor in the back line, it just takes time, man. Like I think you can't learn a ton from these preseason games, but it does help with the little things. You're not going to take some sweeping, you can't really take sweeping general big picture things from that.
No, here's what I'll say. And I think Michael has a good point on the Minnesota center back. I think either wasn't suited to this particular style of play or just otherwise was well out of sync. And that means that some of the chances look like or some of the decisions to play out the back can look a bit worse maybe than they are. Just the chemistry not really there. As you look at, I'll mention this because of Josh Warren bringing out the need of proper 6. Just to give you a bit of an idea, obviously it was Hernandez and Zambrano in the middle of the park. I felt as though Hernandez was the one dropping a little bit deeper compared to Zambrano. You'd see Hernandez come back into the back line when they were needing it to help build out from the back, whereas Zambrano was a little bit further up the field in that first half.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know, they did a pretty comprehensive swap for the second half. Anyone worth note I'd like to call out?
Sure. So we still look at the second half, and I'm just kind of peering over at Max's laptop because he's got them all listed out. This will make sure I don't forget people. About Isaiah Kakush, right? I think. Look, was he great in the first game? Was he bad in the first game we saw? Probably not. You probably not go with either. I felt like he definitely improved. That's something that
young buck.
He is, right? This is a guy who literally just turned 16.
Baby lad.
Okay, literally just turned 16. And I don't think he looked out of place. I don't think he looked out of place on that pitch against Minnesota United. I think that what helped as well, and you'll see us now, I'll talk about it, they played out the back, and a lot of the attacks were going down his side, right? And a large part of that is that I don't think he was really getting beaten very much on his side either. I think he was able to cover the ground that Gabby Torres was kind of leaving there quite well. I think that he was someone who would also look to sometimes drive forward, and I like that out of the back. Again, 16-year-old, he looked a lot better. Danny said after the game that this is a guy who's been picking things up from other players, and it's a learning process, but it's a good learning process for him, and it seems to be improving so far, and I think that's an important one to note. I'll add again, that one side of the field, it was Gabby Torres, it was Fede Varela. That's where a lot of the opportunities felt like they were coming from, right? They were linking up quite well over there. Yes, is rusty. Yes, they're not quite getting as many opportunities maybe as they should, or maybe not converting the ones that they are getting. What I'll add here, though, is that there was at least one that went into Darius Formella from that side and probably should have been dealt with better than it was in the end. Darius Formella as well, just to speak to that one. Formella is someone who I think he was drifting a lot more. Yeah. Than we saw Cabral drifting in the first half. Maybe that's more the nature of them, the two of them as players. They're slightly different players, especially because Cabral had the full-on conversion to you're a 9 now. Yeah. He's probably thinking about it a lot more. There's probably a lot less, absent-minded maybe drifting at times. I'm not saying that's what Formela's doing either, but it did mean that there were times when maybe you'd hope to have Darius in the mix or in that dangerous position to be able to feed him the ball, and he'd either drifted a little bit deeper or he'd gone out wide.
It's kind of that in between. Yeah.
Right, and again, it's preseason. This is time to get used to each other, time to work out the game plans more broadly, and I'm sure they'll work that one out, but that's just an observation there, really.
Yeah. I mean, again, he's kind of that kind of interesting kind of tactical wrinkle that almost like.
We saw Edgardo Rito quite fiery as well, by the way. In that second half, very fiery. Guy was getting quite animated. I'll put it that way.
Nice. Yeah. Again, going back to Formella, he's kind of that tweener player. I mean, we've seen even last season of maybe not necessarily nailing down what the best position is, but it's like he can offer you two different kind of roles. So it's really just figuring out not only where he sits, but where other players sit in relation. I'm seeing a couple people in the chat, seeing Devenol and Paul both alluding to that.
How young Kush is.
Yes, that either Devenol, he is older than Kush, and Paul, my daughter, is older than him. Gotta love it. It is the question, right? And I did say probably about, I'd say 2 minutes ago that you cannot make big sweeping assumptions and takeaways from these types of games. And I do stand by that. However, I am curious, right? When you look at who's playing in the first half, the quote unquote starters, when you look at who's in the second half, we begged this question last preseason of at what point do you start to kind of see the makings of who's going to be your starters once the regular season rolls around. Last year was definitely a different circumstance given that almost the entire team was new. While you do have a different head coach this time around, he was in the system last year, of course, as the assistant coach, and yet you have a lot of these guys who are returning from last year. My question is, can you kind of see that some of the starters can you nail down some of them as starters going into the regular season? Or do you think still a little bit too early to tell to really start solidifying?
Still a bit too early to tell, but what I'd say is that my expectation here is that the first team is more likely to be it, although defensively there are a lot of changes that are still to be made, namely because only Alejandro Fuenmayor, who was a Phoenix Rising player, started in the back three. I think that's it to me. I'd imagine the team will probably look at putting Wyke in the back. They'll probably look at, to be clear as well, Mo Traore wasn't fit for the last game and is expected to be fit for tomorrow. And obviously John Stenberg also is easing his way back in and should be in full training, hopefully in the very near future. But we'll have to see on that one. So I think backline excluded, yeah, maybe you could make 1 or 2 tweaks in the rest of it, but I feel as though that first lineup is probably closer. But I you never know. You never know, do you? You never know.
Yeah,
especially because sometimes people will have a really standout performance in a couple of these games and completely change their complexion.
Yeah, and again, like the thing that we kind of stressed a bit even last time out was these games, no matter how good or bad someone is in a game, there's so much more that goes into it. So much that we're not seeing, behind closed doors, on the practice pitch, how they are in the locker room. I know this was kind of contributing to the captain conversation we had, but the same thing goes for those guys who are nailing it in, who are nailing down those starting jobs. Again, the games is where you show it, but again, there's only so much you can really glean from preseason. So it's definitely kind of like a mental jigsaw how you balance it.
Yeah, no, it is.
We'll see. Well, when they eventually come back to cross California, they will be in Arizona. And once you're in Arizona, you can play our friends at Arizona Lottery. Our friends at Arizona Lottery, you can have fun with their AZ Adventure program. It's a new, unique ticket promotion, celebrates the glory and beauty that Arizona has to offer. There are three ways that you can play and win big. Number one, you play their Arizona Adventure Lottery tickets featuring 3 iconic landscapes. Got Picacho Peak, Monument Valley, and Camelback Mountain.
What's your favorite of those?
I've hiked 2 of them. I've had 2 of them out of the 3. Can you name the one I didn't hike yet? Picacho Peak, Monument Valley, Camelback Mountain. Which one have I not hiked?
Monument.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
That is correct.
There we go. Hiked. I'm correct.
I have not hiked.
I know what I'm talking about.
You did not sound confident when you said that, but I sound confident when I say that Arizona Adventure is absolutely fantastic. Those 3 scratchers, they have ticket prizes up to $50,000. What would you do with $50,000? I actually already hate that question. Don't answer it. Number 2, the second way that you can win is you can check in at their geolocated adventures. Pretty simple. Literally go to one of 10 different destinations across the state. Literally, you can hike. No, everyone's looking at me.
Is there one across the street?
Okay.
Is there one across the street?
Actually, I will say there's actually
crossed the street.
There's actually one not too far. There's a Hole in the Rock. You can hike Hole in the Rock at Papago Park, and that counts as one of your 10 adventures. It is a great hike. Very easy to do. You can literally do a little hike there. Boom. Check in to the Players Club app through Arizona Lottery. You can win points and chance for win prizes. Super easy.
Go out hiking like Eric Dick.
Yes. And
former rising goalkeeper, Eric Dick.
Yep. And find all that list at azadventure.com. Third way, enter tickets online for a chance to win $1 million in cash prizes and Arizona travel prizes. It's a great way to play, everyone. Visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can take an adventure for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes.
I see the chat says you haven't hiked to Todd's tattoo shop yet, Max.
Got it. Yeah, we will. I'll just a second. But wherever I'm going, especially if I'm looking at AZ Lottery tickets, I can get them at our friends at Circle K. Circle K. They have. And you were telling me today they have their Inner Circle program.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Their Inner Circle program, right? This is part of America's thirst shop, Circle K. They have all the great member benefits.
Will he get it right this time? Is he going to get it right? Come on. The pressure is on, Max.
Right.
What do you get? What do you get in the Inner Circle?
I'm ad man. You can save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. You can save one, and then once you exhaust through those fill-ups, you can then save 3 cents per gallon, even get up to 5 cents per gallon just by entering your phone number. Super easy. You get snacks for free, chips for free, pizzas for free, all this great stuff. All you gotta do, download the Inner Circle app. It's that easy. Circle K. Boom. People are saying, kind of referencing the tattoo and everything like that.
You know what else would be easy to do, Max?
What's that?
Get tatted, especially when it's free.
Yeah,
that's what the chat says.
I see Brett's comment in there. Yeah. Again,
how long is that live stream going to be?
Quite long, probably.
You are saying that as the guy who's going to be there, and this is actually a great segue because we have been asked. We're trying to coordinate times. Do you know where it's being held up right now? By Jacob Franklin.
Yeah, I don't have a date for it yet.
I've literally given you several. We need to choose
but
one.
Max, to be fair, you gave him one date that we know for certain we can't do because there may be some interesting news coming in the near future, by the way, Phoenix Rising fans.
Nice. Yes. Zanel said, yes, Circle K is a great place to get a nice cold drink. Oh, after a fresh tattoo.
Funny that, yeah.
Had me in the first half. Well, yes, more news on the tattoo will be coming once Jacob gets in gear. All right, cool. Direct all questions to Jacob Franklin. Thank you, everyone.
Do you want videos or do you want dates,
Oh, boy,
Max?
here we go. All righty. Something we can turn our attention to and never talk about that tattoo again is Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, we were speaking about Eric Dick. Well, let's talk about a potential lone goalkeeper.
He's a player that you've done quite a bit of research on, as well as Stylacky Reese has also done some research. And let
me give some context here.
Well, yes, you may.
All right, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a guy called Hunter Sulte, who, as you may have noticed, has been a trialist, quote unquote, for Phoenix Rising in the last 2 open preseason games. Indications are the team has some interest in him. I can't say personally that. I got to be honest. I can't say personally that my impressions so far from watching him have been that great. But we delved into the numbers. Let's have a look.
You're a very kind man. Very kind man. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so here's his numbers in MLS Next Pro. 2 years of MLS Next Pro. 28 appearances. 1 clean sheet in the 28. 56.3% save percentage. And 2.75 goals against average. So average goals per game. Those numbers aren't good.
Okay. Well, let's say a couple things. Number one, it's not the clean sheets and the goals against are not a necessarily full indictment on him.
No.
Now, that being said, that save percentage is there's not much you can say when you're saving slightly more than 1 out of 2. Not great.
No.
I don't really know how else to draw it up, but
you're trying to defend him.
I'm trying to, just paint the picture.
I understand to a degree that Phoenix Rising is in an awkward spot, right? Yeah. Obviously, Patrick Rakowski has not been fit to play in these last few games. Rocco Rios Novo is only just about to return. He's probably going to want a little bit of time off because he's been going at it pretty much on for a while now. I'm also told, actually, by the way, that Sulte played in the 6-1 loss for Portland Timbers 2. They came to Phoenix. Is that right, Trig? Back in 2020? 2020, yeah. Trig's nodding at me. It's correct. Good. Yes. Okay, good. But those aren't great numbers, and that's at a lower level than here. I understand the desperation. I wonder if this is the right move to make, because those numbers don't speak to me in positive ways, and I can't personally say that I've seen anything in the actual games that have made me think that those numbers are drastically wrong. The other thing I'll add, I haven't seen him get as involved, I think, in the build-up play out of the back as I would personally
that's crucial.
Be expecting to see. We know that Rocco Rios Novo is the starting goalkeeper, presumably, on this team. That's critical for him, right? That's a big part of what he does. I find it interesting to know whether the reason that they're not doing it that way is because A, he can't, or B, they're just not.
Or maybe he's not asked to play that way.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe he's not being asked to play that way. Sure. But that also isn't amazing then to be in that position, because that's still an important part of how they play. Yeah.
Yeah, to quote Albert in the chat, I may be just a layman who knows nothing of football, but my initial impression of those numbers is that they are not good. Shout out Stacky Reese. A couple
Trig more, over there with the numbers.
Couple more numbers from previous seasons. I'll put it this way, guys. You're seeing what we threw out for that save percentage, 56.3. Yeah, that's one of the high points. Even with, put it this way, when he was with Portland in the top flight in the 2021 season for 2 appearances, including 1 off the bench. Very limited sample size in 2 games, but save percentage of 37.5. It's not great. Goals allowed average is 4.02 per match in those 2 appearances. It's a smaller sample size. It's not the best body of work, but that's what we got. Man, we'll see. We'll see what Rising do. You're gonna hopefully, depends. See who they put in the sticks. A guy who can prevent goals. Now, again, we mentioned Rocco Rios Novo. He is a guy with a bit of news on him, but he prevents a lot of goals for Phoenix Rising, and he and his U23 Argentinian team, they're going to Paris.
They are. I'll say this now after qualifying for the Olympics. Let's put some things in perspective, because I know some people are saying, is he going to the Olympics? A, we don't know. B, there are squad rule changes between the qualifiers and the finals tournament. So, for the qualifiers, they were entitled to call up 23 players. Yes. For the finals tournament, they are entitled to call up 18 players.
That's less.
With 3 standby players. But the standby players, and here's the critical thing, by and large, can't join in once the tournament has started, except for in cases of force majeure. So...
I haven't heard that in a while.
So what is he going to be in there? I mean, we saw he wasn't really playing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Yep. I mean, it's one of those things. Definitely, either way, it's a good achievement. You know, regardless whether he was part of the team that qualifies. Pretty cool.
Yeah, important.
Big news there. Talking about keepers between the sticks, preventing goals. Well, we do have a former Rising player who scored quite a banger, as they say, Mr. Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo. Yeah, making his debut in the Polish League. Coming off the bench in the second half, gets a 94th minute banger of a goal.
Yeah, also the goal
to
that
win the
team
game.
That his team conceded, that was...
Yeah, if you want to go watch the full highlights.
That was a blunder.
Yeah, but still, big goal for him. His first day, competitive debut for his new team. Took it very, very well. And good sign of things to come, hopefully.
Good sign of things to come. Danny Trejo. Miss that guy. One other piece we have, and I know that there was a statement put out last week, but I don't think we have had a chance to touch upon it.
Here we go.
Yeah, on the pod is, there was an announcement of the Super League and their inaugural season, the USL Super League, right?
Yeah.
More info to come on the league in their inaugural season. Unfortunately, the news, Phoenix will not be having a team in their inaugural season.
Yeah. I think we need to address that. Look, I'll say there are 2 ways to approach this right now, and I'll go through them. Okay. On the one hand, Rising, a lot of what the argument is they're not in a place to launch it right now in terms of being ready and all of that. And if they launch, they want to do it right. I get that. You don't want to launch this and launch it badly.
Yep.
However, when you make the promise that you're going to do this, and you don't then follow through on that, it raises some serious questions. If this team isn't ready to commit to launching that team, they shouldn't have committed to launching that team. But they did. And then when you get to that point and the arguments are things such as the league didn't meet the deadline in order for us to, quote, secure female leadership for our new women's team, end quote, and that the inclusion of Tucson was, quote, made without our knowledge, end quote, and that it, quote, negatively impacted buy-in from potential investors, particularly our prospective lead female investor, end quote. It raised a lot of questions because where were these conditions when you were lapping up the initial PR of launching a team?
Yeah, I mean...
it's a big difference between... I mean, at this point, all of this, to be honest, is, it's the league's fault, and, we were going to do it, but they couldn't get stuff done in time. And also is all reliant on the idea that they bring someone new in, which, of course, again, was never part of the initial announcement, was it? They were going to... It was contingent on bringing new investment money in. That wasn't part of it. So, it's disappointing. It's not surprising, I think, for those who've been tuned in with the team over the last year. It's not surprising at all. We've been hearing rumblings of similar issues for months and months and months now. Mm-hmm. But this is where they are. There will not be a team in the inaugural season. We'll wait and see if it comes in later on. But I'll also add that obviously the statement was unsigned by any one individual. It was simply a Phoenix Rising FC, which I can understand sometimes why people do that, but it very much makes it look like no one wants to really take responsibility for the ultimate failure to launch this team off the ground.
Yeah, I think the thing that it strikes me about this was the part about Tucson's participation. Which
that I found a little bit funny because I understand parts of like Yeah, but you're really saying Tucson's this big competitive worry?
Well, made without our advanced knowledge, and it negatively impacted buy-in from potential investors, particularly our prospective lead female investor.
Can I add some context? Sorry, actually, I do need to add context, and this is in the interest of fairness. I did ask the league on the day that the statement came out for a response in regards to that particular accusation, effectively, from Phoenix Rising, in the statement that the league did not tell them about Tucson's participation until the time of the actual announcement. The reply from the league did not in any way, shape, or form address the question. So I think that's fair to point out.
Sure.
In Phoenix Rising's defense, that is fair to point out the fact that we asked the league. The league are not, or have not chosen in this case, to publicly defend themselves on that particular allegation.
Yeah. I mean, that does add definitely some context and nuance to it. But I mean, to me, listen, whether you're framing this as someone is choosing to invest in the Tucson team or the Phoenix team, I think to me, if that's how you're going to paint it as, okay, well, we didn't get buy-in from certain investors. To me, either A, you're starting way too late in the game, or B, you weren't placing enough of a priority about it to make them want to invest. And that's like the whole point is like, again, I'm not trying to make this as a Phoenix versus Tucson, but like, I'm from Tucson, and no disrespect to the people for Tucson. I want the team to succeed well.
Max, what do you think about Tucson?
Tucson is the reason why I'm here now. But
right, Tucson, Albuquerque, go.
Okay, I mean, come on, Tucson's not that bad. But
I agree.
Yeah, that's an easy one. No, but it's one where I just don't buy the whole investment side of things. Even if you were quote unquote blindsided or negatively impacted, whatever you want to, and even if that's true, okay, that's not a fair thing to say in my mind, because you need to build up your pitch and your priority to it early and often. The fact that it was, again, going back to there was no communication, that there's just quiet, that there's this radio silence, gives this aspect and the thought of you don't control the narrative. If other people are controlling the narrative, people are going to run with it. And rightly or wrongly, they're going to draw the assumption that this is not something that was heavily prioritized by you. And if that's the impression that's left, then like you kind of have to lie with where the fans fall in it. Again, you want to be always controlling the narrative, and that's just kind of what we've seen really since the initial PR was announced. You kind of mentioned that they had all the glory from it, but then when push comes to shove, we didn't hear anything for months and months and months. Then that statement that really kind of ended with, we want to support in every way we can, but we have the anticipation of joining forces when the time is right, under the right conditions. These things are not always going to be in a perfect place where it just ends up and lies beautifully just for you to capitalize when the timing's right. Listen, that's the ambition of going in on something in one of the first couple teams. That's the opportunity that you've now missed.
Yeah, I'll add again on here with the anticipation of joining forces when the time is right. That's a specific quote, by the way, from the release that Max is bringing up there again. The time is right when you have committed to joining the league, right? If this wasn't the right time, that's fine. Sometimes that is the case. But you don't then make a commitment to join the league and then fail to do so.
It's just such bad
optics. It doesn't look good. I mean, I'll add as well. I like some of the like kind of no, we care about women's sport in here. And again, I'm not going to say they don't, but in the past 5 years alone, Phoenix Rising Youth has placed 138 women into college programs, over half of which were Division 1 programs. Isn't Phoenix Rising Youth just the rebranded Scottsdale Blackhawks? Plus some other clubs, of course, as well. And I know the club do things for the youth programs, but again, I mean, they weren't going to take it over and shut the women's game down, were they? I mean,
yeah,
you can't take over a club and shut that side of things down. So I get it, but like again, context is good.
Context matters. Mikey's saying in the chat, that's what it was, all PR. Scott in the chat, Tucson, Reno, same. That's a deep cut right there. There's some weird similarities, but that's for another day. Yeah, man, it's again, it just doesn't rub people the right way. I keep going back to, again, you got to control the narrative. Even if you don't have all the information, I'm not expecting people to put out a statement every couple of weeks or every month. But when you go from all the hype of the initial announcement to now with nothing in between,
Well,
do
you had the league
expect?
president being paraded around by owners
You're right.
in Phoenix
You're right.
wearing Super League scarves.
Yes.
You had the
So
inaugural
that.
USL Super League
Yes.
Congress held here in Phoenix, so they brought people from all the various teams here to Phoenix again. There's a lot of
illusion.
not that Phoenix's USL Super League team actually bothered to put anything out about the fact that the USL Super League Congress was coming to Phoenix, but yes, that happened still. So. Yeah, they did, of course, get Division 1 sanctioning, though. That sets up whatever's coming as the battle we prepare for them to commence. They didn't even... Are you pulling up the Super League Twitter now? The Phoenix Super League Twitter?
I am.
Did they even retweet the...
We have the initial...
Wait, hold on. They didn't even retweet the Phoenix Rising statement about the club not happening, did they?
I am looking. I am...
Not happening for now, of course.
I'm sleuthing.
He's not sleeping very well. No, the last tweet was in May, wasn't it?
It was literally
was
all
a
from
retweet.
that blitz in May.
Yeah, it was in May, yeah.
It has had
Nice.
it has had zero activity since May.
Hashtag ready for more in the header.
And ready for more eventually. There's no replies. There's no likes. There's nothing since May. That's
There we go.
wild. That's wild.
There we go.
Oh, man. It's makes you think. Makes you it kind of hurts a bit, but I say OGs to that one, not the good OGs. That is our friends at OGs
Max,
Brands.
what's that transition, mate?
Well, I do have a fun fact. I will remain,
that transition's worse than Trig's transition when he was playing FIFA.
Oh, yeah, to be fair, he was bad. But, he cannot have OGs because you have to be 21 years old to enjoy responsibly. But I will say someone in the chat, I will let them identify if they would like to. But someone who's in the chat right now, they DM'd me earlier today, said, I hope you're happy. And I very much was because they DM'd me themselves buying a bag of OGs. It was phenomenal. The effect, the Max Simpson effect. Some people are saying the PHNX rising effect, the Adman effect.
The PHNX rising effect. We're not calling it the Max Simpson effect.
The Adman effect.
Your ego doesn't need that, Max.
I don't need that. But hey, the PHNX rising effect, it is real. OGs, it is the bomb. Diggity, guys. Check them out. OGsbrands.com. Again, they have the OGs Naturals and the Big OGs. That OGs Naturals are the vegan gummies made with sweet rosin. That's sweet clementine. The Big OGs, my nickname in college, as you already know.
No, it's not. No, it was not. It never was, Max.
100
Don't lie to the people.
100 milligrams of THC perforated. You can make them into 10 little gummy thing. So fantastic. Learn more about OGs Brands at ogsbrands.com and across all social platforms at OGs Brands. Jacob, what's up?
How do you spell OGs, by the way, just for people? Remind them again. How do you spell it?
OGEEZ.
There you go. Well done.
OGEEZ Brands.
Just judging you, Max.
So the usual. Got it. Yes. And something that also, I was actually indulging in this weekend, some Four Peaks. Four Peaks.
Was that when you weren't in Coachella?
I was not Coachella. I was actually on
he
business.
wasn't in Coachella. I was on business.
I
On
wasn't.
business.
I actually was on business. It happened to be at the Waste Management Open.
Rumor has it that Max is the reason they shut down alcohol sales at the Waste Management Phoenix
Cannot
Open.
confirm nor deny. Four Peaks, they were at Waste Management. They were having a good old time. The Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale. Twas phenomenal. Again, had it at 30th Street Pub. I've had it on multiple occasions. It is phenomenal. People are clamoring for it in the office. I actually shouldn't have just said that because that's not good. It will be coming in the office at some point.
We do want some in the office, Max. When's it coming to the office?
Rumor has it that we have maybe a little event planned coming up soon. So stay tuned involving some Four Peaks. But Four Peaks, get their Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale. Find Four Peaks at Four Peaks Pub and at Four Peaks Brew. Keep up with the latest and greatest going on in Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 years or older to enjoy responsibly.
Max, the people are...
Again, I direct everything to Jacob Franklin.
Sounds like the build-up to this
Jacob
tattoo.
Franklin.
A lot of the noise at the time.
At Jacob Franklin 4. At him.
We've also got Tattoo Effect When. And, he for sure wasn't in the tattoo shop.
I am literally telling you, we are waiting on a date.
Hey.
I have been done.
All right, live on air. What were the dates?
Oh gosh,
Simpson.
What were the dates you sent me?
We don't want to right now.
Absolutely, we do.
Did I text you? I think I texted.
We're doing this.
Yes,
we
it was
are
in text.
settling this. Hopefully now.
This is a horrible medium.
No, we're just.
No, like we're gonna do it. But I'm just saying.
You can't blame Jacob on air and then when he wants to deal with it, not deal with it.
All
Max.
right, we have February 29th, Mr. Jacob.
He's gonna look at that and wince. I know.
Looking.
Yeah, there's a shake.
There's a wince.
Shake of the head. It's gonna have to be the next one then.
That one is the Thursday of opening weekend. of the week leading up to
that
March
could be
7th?
a treat. Yeah.
No.
Well, then.
We've got 2 more games that night. We've got 2 games both days.
Oh, man.
All right,
That's
Mr.
tough.
Simpson.
I guess Max isn't getting a tattoo.
Oh, man. That's tough. Well, you know what? Let me ask for a couple more give me Thursday dates. We'll have to get some other ones out there.
I can't believe that because he waited so long.
Don't do this.
You waited so long, man.
Buddy, I literally
now we're up against it, and it may
April
not.
4th, April 11th.
Whoa,
season's
that's
already
like in the
April
season.
18th.
That's like in the season. Whoa. I'm trying to get this done before our season opener. We
We have no Thursdays without games.
It doesn't have to be a
before season
Thursday.
opener. Oh, you said okay.
I said that's what I was given. Let me ask for some other ones. Let me.
I mean Wednesday the Wednesday March 13th.
This is a horrible medium for
Wednesday
number.
March
Like
6th.
We could do the 6th. Go on, Mr. Simpson.
What?
Get to work.
What?
The 6th.
Of.
Opening week.
What do you think, March? We're bullying him live with just potential tattoo dates. Welcome. Welcome to the Max Simpson Tattoo Planning Show.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, this is a meeting.
Maybe, just maybe, by the end of this show, we will have a plan in place.
I don't.
But likely we will not.
But we will keep you guys informed.
He will keep you informed, just like he kept Jacob informed when it initially got called off.
I did I not?
A
You
day
didn't tell
after
me.
I told
I had to
Oh.
text you.
Well, I mean, again, cleared myself. Anyway, yeah, I think that's all the real.
I'm just saying that, rumor has it if you go into the season without a tattoo, it's kind of like when you go into the season in admin. There should be a points deduction involved.
Who says I'm going into the season? I'm doing what I can.
Max, it's been 8 months. It's not been 8 months, to be fair.
I don't.
It's not been quite that long.
Oh yeah, I think no. I think Welsh AZ and Devon all are no. Sipping can't be sipping the 4 peaks. Yes, for multiple reasons. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all we have for tonight. Definitely no other announcements, right?
Oh, we're
Owen?
talking about Las Vegas quickly?
No. Oh yeah, actually we do.
Yeah, Las Vegas Lights. Let's talk about Las Vegas Lights quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they signed players.
Four new players. Four.
They've got players.
Woo!
Would you believe it? They actually exist.
They did it.
They did it. Well done, boys.
Jose Bats, baby.
Hey. Should we get the list of players up?
Do it.
Let's have a quick chat. They are bringing in Emma Clementa,
Yeah.
Joe Hafferty,
Oh.
and Christian Pinzone,
Hey.
and Coleman Gannon.
Hmm.
What do you think, Max?
Well, they're going to follow in the rich, illustrious history that is Las Vegas Lights. Not good.
Really?
Bang. No.
No, to be fair, they're not that bad players.
No,
the ones they picked up today.
Third one, who's the third one you mentioned?
Pinzone?
I mean, yeah, he's actually.
Yeah, I mean, he's okay. I mean,
got
you
some
look at some of his numbers, right? He's above average. I mean, he is above average, right? I mean, okay, to give you the context here, John Morrissey, of course, USL Tactics on Twitter, has his games above replacement metric, and he puts him in the 58th percentile. So, yeah.
Okay. I see. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
Clementa's all right as well.
It's fair. We'll figure it out. It'll be interesting to see. Las Vegas stuff, huh? Okay.
Yeah, Las Vegas.
Is there anything else that we had?
Up to you to announce it, mate. I'll let you do the honors.
Jacob, is it ready?
Yeah, it's ready.
All right, cool.
Yeah, the tattoo is coming. No,
that's
it's not, unfortunately.
That's not it. But we do have Bobby Dooley, Phoenix Rising president. Bobby Dooley will be joining the show next Tuesday, February 20th. In studio, folks. We're going to get him in studio. It's going to be 5 p.m., a little bit earlier time per usual. But again, we will be putting this out there again as a reminder. But yeah, 1 week from today, we got the Prez.
Yeah, club president coming into the studio.
There we go.
Have a chat.
There we go. Have a chat. Send us your questions. Diehards, of course, get priority on questions. Send them in the Discord. Yeah, that's why it pays to be a diehard. Folks, become a diehard yourself. Go to phnxlocker.com. You get priority questions as we do. We ask questions on which league should we play our pregame show FIFA game in. And thank you to Albert. He picked the Turkish Super League, in which case I dismantled Reese. He was bad. Reese, you were horrible today. Like, even everyone in this room will admit it. Reese.
He ruined my dinner.
Yeah. You can't use that excuse.
Max, you were going to give me Monroe's.
You were going to give me Monroe's hot chicken. Anyway, diehards.
Max is buying Monroe's.
No free ads. I draw the line. No.
It's not. You're just buying.
I'm not buying anything.
You are.
Reese lost. The diehards tried to help though, Rappy. You can
maybe this can be his other forfeit. Maybe the other forfeit for. I mean, we're gonna have to add to it as well because this is getting later and later, and I feel
Max,
like
I got a deal for you.
You get catering in for the entire studio.
What?
You give me Monroe's.
What?
You don't have to get a tattoo.
No, you can't make that deal. That won't happen. That's the thing.
Oh no, I can make that deal.
No, you can't, Jacob. The people won't let you.
People in the chat will love that. All right, yeah, I'll take that deal. Yes, but become a diehard today, right? Again, in the Discord. Pick our FIFA teams, everything like that. Stop Googling.
Got some bad news for you. It's closing in 13 minutes.
That's 12 more than I need. We're getting out of here. No, but
I don't know. I might drag this out a minute. It's not happening.
Yeah, you can also, of course, when you're a diehard, get discounted and free merch, free shirt. For your first sign of becoming a diehard, you can get this sick Rising tee. You can get a PHNX Suns shirt.
I hear the Suns are about to play in about.
The Suns are about to play. You got our Rise to the Top shirt as well, pictured on screen. Get it today. Become a diehard again. The tattoo, we are getting a date, and that's the only place you can see the tattoo is if you are a diehard, of which there are many. Mr. Owen Evans, we've covered a lot. Once again, another off the rails show. Is there anything else that we need to hit?
Yeah, have you got a reply yet on those tattoo days?
I have not.
Oh, Max. I blame Max for that, don't you, Jacob?
You cannot spin this on me.
Yeah, there's a little nod there.
Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. Oh, yeah, wait, Mikey in the chat. Got myself a wagon shirt. Appreciate that, sir. They are a wagon. Boom. Appreciate everyone joining us on our wagon, even though it has gone off the rails of the PHNX Rising podcast. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at PHNX__rising because double the underscore.
Double the tattoo, you still owe, mate.
I don't know why I give you this option. You can follow me on Twitter at Max David Simpson. You can follow Owen on Twitter at OJEvans18. You can follow
Trig.
Die like you Reese at Reese11_ harass him because he is bad at the FIFA. You can follow Jacob.
Remember to call him Trig as well.
You can follow Jacob on Twitter at JacobFranklin4. No? What do you mean? What do you mean it's not Jacob Franklin?
You forgot an underscore.
Jacob_Franklin? Jacob, oh crap. Jacob Franklin _4?
No.
Jacob,
you had it right.
Jacob _Franklin4.
It's literally here, Max.
I'm not looking at it. Damn. Followed Jacob _Franklin4. Give the man some follows. He's a good follow. You're a better person in real life. But hey, it is the beautiful game, but it's way more beautiful when you
Max actually gets a tattoo.
Night.
We all silly like the mayor.